heart of Jesus, which is the new temple, the dwelling of God. The love of God in flesh, that's why St. John can describe the Lord as the Word, which became flesh and dwelt among us. That is the new temple of God. Contemplating Jesus in prayer, we know that all the desires of the Father are fulfilled in his heart. That we have our name, like the apostles, written with blood in their hearts. The church receives her life, her path through the prayer of Jesus. And at this moment, Jesus praying all night up over the mountain is the image of Jesus now, risen, crucified, at the right hand of the Father, interceding, praying for the entire church by name. Jesus saves us, not in an abstract way. Jesus saves us in a personal way. That is, by name, each one of us. He died for us on the cross. He prays for us by name to the Father. He wanted us to also fulfill the will of God in our lives. St. Paul writes later on in his letters that we have a high priest, merciful and faithful, and we are not afraid to draw close to the throne of God, because he is there waiting to pray and intercede for each one of us by name. This is the love of God, who calls us by name, that prays for us by name, and that opens the path for us by name. The apostles, the 12, when we contemplate his ways, imagine Simon, a zealot, that is, a violent man, who perhaps was ready to use weapons to defend the people of Israel against the Romans. What a strong conversion that the Lord had to do in the life of Simon. It was not the weapons of fire through which he will conquer the Romans. It will be through the weapons of justice, of love, forgiveness, and above all, the souls of the sacraments. The sacraments will be the new weapons of the people of God to conquer the entire world, forgiving sins, raising the dead, and also communicating the body and blood of Christ. And Saint Judas Tadeo, that always has in the statues an image of the face of Christ, because of oral tradition, that when he was preaching in Anatolia, the king of Edessa, when the king was ill, he asked the intervention of Saint Judas Tadeus. And Saint Judas Tadeus invited the king of Edessa to contemplate the face of Christ. And he had an image with him. And so at this moment, when Judas would pray for the king of Edessa, when he was contemplating the face of Christ, the king was healed from his illness. And that's why Saint Judas always has this image, presenting to all of us that we may trust in the face of Christ and the love of God. Nothing is impossible for the Lord. The conversion of these two men remind us that the love of God is stronger than death, than sin, and the logic of the gospel conquers at the end the logic of the world. We conclude with these words of St. John Chrysostom about this great feast. In this way, it summarizes in few words the rule of behavior of the apostles is affirming that he's sending them as a father has sent him, the Lord. Is giving them to understand that their mission consists of inviting sinners to repent, to heal the infirmed of body and soul, and that in the exercise of his ministry, they don't look for their will, but the will of the one who sent them, and that they are to save the entire world with the doctrine that they have received from him. That is, sharing the power of the forgiveness of the Lord as witness of his mercy. Also inviting the rest to experience the sacraments, that is, the healing of body and soul. And so that we may always have hearts ready to fulfill the will of the Father. And we trust that he's the sound doctrine, which is the light that the world needs most, which is a light of truth that delivers all for the heart of Jesus through the heart of Mary.